Hey guys, we got the E-Revo 2.0 and the Maxx V2 here. We've had some questions here on the channel about the differences between these two trucks. So we're going to run them, see how each one handles, do a side-by-side comparison, and more. So stay tuned because that's what's coming up next on RC Reviews. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at the E-Revo 2.0 and the Maxx V2. I've been getting some questions here on the channel about these two trucks. Some people are on the fence about which one to get, the E-Revo or the Maxx V2. I've been getting some questions about which one I like the most out of these two, like which one is the best. Some people have asked my opinion on that. And to be honest guys, that really is a hard decision because both of these trucks are beasts in their own way, I'm telling you right now. The E-Revo, man, this is both of these trucks are heavy hitters. I'll put it to you like that. We are going to do some running footage of each truck. But first, I wanted to give you guys an up-close view of both of these trucks so we can get that out of the way and you can kind of see the differences between these two setups because there are some major differences between these two trucks. The price for the E-Revo 2.0 is $649.99. Stock gearing for the E-Revo is a 15-tooth pinion and a 54-tooth spur. The price for the Maxx V2 as of right now is $579.99. Gearing for the Maxx V2 is a 23-tooth pinion and a 50-tooth spur. They're both four-wheel drive. Both of them already have the software ready. I guess you could say they're both software ready for the Traxxas app. You will need to get the module, which is sold separately, for your radio if you want to utilize that app. There are some major differences between these two, and we're going to get into that. We are going to do a size comparison. Of course, the E-Revo is going to be bigger than the Maxx V2. The E-Revo is rated as a 1/10 scale, guys, but I'm not so sure about that. This is more of a 1/8 scale truck, in my opinion. If you want to be real about it, this one is bigger than your average 1/10 scale. So when you think 1/10 scale, and then you see this E-Revo in person, you're gonna be like, whoa, this is 1/10 scale? It's pretty big for a 1/10 scale. So yeah, this is, in my opinion, more of a 1/8 scale. And even the Maxx V2 here, even though it's rated as a 1/10 scale, it's a little bigger than your average 1/10 scale truck. You know, especially since they've done the longer chassis and wider stance right out of the box with this kit. As far as performance goes, now this is the really weird thing, guys. The Maxx V2 kind of reminds me of the E-Revo as far as how it handles. And what I mean by that is just the way, I guess it may be the wider stance, longer chassis, I don't know what it is. But this one, over grass and other terrain, off-road, it kind of hovers, kind of like this one does. It has those smooth plush landings off of hills and stuff like that. So it kind of reminds me a little bit in a small way of the E-Revo here as far as handling goes. The E-Revo, guys, very, very rarely, unless you're just being really careless and you're just driving crazy, this one's really not ever going to traction roll, the E-Revo. I mean, it's just too low to the ground and it's too wide for it to traction roll. I don't think I've ever traction rolled the E-Revo. Now with the E-Revo, guys, I don't bash it really hard. Because of its size and its weight, I really don't think the E-Revo was made for that. I've seen people put limiting straps on their suspension, front and rear. That would help because, I mean, look at this travel, guys. You know, look at that travel. You know, jumping this truck stock as is, you're going to break some stuff, I'm telling you. I'll do some mild jumping, like, you know, off-road and stuff. This one, again, has dual servos in it. This one has a single servo. So this one takes the advantage on some of that. This one takes a single battery. This one takes 2 3S. So there's that advantage too. We're going to go ahead and do a size comparison real quick. We'll do the size comparison. We'll take off the bodies and we'll look around inside the chassis and look at some of the differences. All right, guys. So I'm gonna try to get them lined up pretty straight for you guys here so you can get a good idea of the size difference. Okay, Maxx V2 on the left, E-Revo on the right. As you can tell, E-Revo is way bigger than the Maxx V2. I don't want to say way bigger, but look at that width on the E-Revo compared to the Maxx V2. Of course, the E-Revo does have bigger tires. The E-Revo is slightly longer than the Maxx V2. We'll zoom out here so you guys can get a real good look at that. So the E-Revo is bigger, wider and longer than the Maxx V2. Even though this one is, like I said, rated as a 1/10 scale, this is more of a 1/8 scale, guys. I'm telling you, the E-Revo is pretty big for its rating. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take the shells off of these two trucks. We're gonna look at them one at a time because these two beasts on one table, we ain't gonna have room. So we're gonna go ahead. We'll take a look at the Maxx V2 first, and I'll give you guys a shot of the chassis, and then we'll compare with the E-Revo. Okay, guys, we've got the Maxx V2 here. We're gonna go ahead and take that body off. Here's a shot of the inside of the chassis here. We'll turn it sideways so we make sure we get it all in the shot here in frame. Here's the Maxx V2. Built very similar to the Maxx original. This one does have a longer chassis, and of course it does come stock with the wide kit. Most importantly though, we have a bigger battery compartment here. The batteries I run in this truck now are the ones that I run in my X-Maxx. So you can run a 4S 6700 in this side here, no problem. Fits just fine. We've got our motor, our heat sink, and our fan here, our ESC with a built-in fan here. Our servos right here in the center here. Of course, we got our receiver box here. We do have our standard threaded aluminum body shocks. The Maxx V2 does come stock with its own wheelie bar. Some of the advantages that the E-Revo has over the Maxx V2 is it has a 17mm hex. The Maxx V2 has your standard wheel nut. It does have this plastic adapter here in the tire. I'm not really sure why they didn't come stock with 17mm hex. And metal drive shafts is another thing. This V2 comes stock with plastic drive shafts. They're pretty durable, I guess, but for the price point of the Maxx V2, I'm not sure why it didn't come, stock. Up next, we're taking a look here at the E-Revo. I'm going to pull that body off. Now, as you can see, some major differences here, guys, under the hood. This truck takes two batteries, one on each side, 2S or 3S. I recommend 3S. You have your receiver box, your motor, your ESC and fan combo here. Pretty much all our components are here, right in the center of the chassis, whereas in the Maxx V2, it's all on one side. As you can see, guys, it's quite a different setup here with the lay-down shocks. It's kind of sits lower. We do have the dual servos here in front. These have not gone out on me yet. I'm pretty sure they will at some point in time. Some people do upgrade to a single servo, or some people will just throw in dual servos and just, go with something else, a better servo than the stocks. Personally, guys, with the truck at this price point, we're talking $650, $700 out the door. I don't know why Traxxas keeps putting these servos in there. They need to put some better servos in there out of the box, out of the kit. So I don't know why they keep doing that. That's my only beef with this truck, is that they keep skimping out on the most important parts of this truck, to keep it running. And I don't understand why they do that. Of course, this truck does have the bigger tires. The E-Revo, like I said before, does come stock with your 17mm hex and your steel drive shafts. So that's one advantage that we talked about, that the E-Revo does have stock out of the box when it comes to the Maxx V2. Some of the weaknesses that I talked about here for the E-Revo, especially if you're going to be doing some high jumps off the ramp, it's going to be these push rods here coming off. Maybe the rockers pulling the shock shafts out of the shocks on a hard landing. I mean, Guys, this truck is heavy. And as you can see, we've got a lot of travel here. Now you can make some adjustments. Like I said, people have put limiting straps here in the front and rear to kind of limit that travel, you know, with those rockers there to prevent that. So that is something you can do. Someone also asked me if you could put the E-Revo body on the Maxx V2, and you can't, guys. That's just, it's not going to work with the shock tower here and the way it is on the Maxx V2. It's just not going to work. So you cannot put this body on the Maxx V2. Somebody asked me that in one of my other videos. I wanted to address that here. This body is too long for the Maxx V2 chassis and the way it's set up. So this body will not fit on the Maxx V2. That'd be kind of cool if it did, though. Now, top speed that we got here with the E-Revo when we did the speed run was 50 miles an hour. Top speed for the Maxx V2 running the 4S 6700 was 51 miles an hour. So actually, the Maxx V2 is slightly faster than the E-Revo here. Of course, we do have the wing here in the rear. The E-Revo, guys, is just a very unique creation that Traxxas has come up with, and I think that's probably why it's so popular. Just, you know, you got the lay down shocks here, you got the wing in the back. It's kind of a mix, I would say, between a monster truck and a truggy. That's the way it looks. That's the look that it gives off. But I'm telling you guys right now, there's nothing like running this truck right here. This truck is a beast. I'm telling you right now. Wheelies on command, 50 miles an hour stock out of the box. For a truck this size, guys, I mean, this truck is massive for a 1/10 scale. I'm telling you right now. So now that you've seen, you know, the differences between these two trucks, we're gonna go ahead and run them and see how they do. All right, guys, first up, we got the E-Revo 2.0. We're gonna do a couple of high-speed passes real quick, just to give you guys an idea of how fast it is stock out of the box. Full throttle. Now, guys, we are running two 3S 5000s. One of the characteristics here of the E-Revo, when you're running it like that at high speed, is the rear end kind of squats down and the front end raises up. Really fun to drive. Now, when we did our last speed run with the E-Revo, we hit 50 miles an hour. That's for stock setup. We haven't changed anything. We are still running stock gearing here. Very rarely, guys, will I change any of the gearing on my monster trucks here. As you can see, I'm being real aggressive with it into turns. And it's not going to traction roll, guys. Very, very rarely will the E-Revo traction roll. It just handles so good. We'll go ahead and take that wheelie bar off. Also, guys, I forgot to mention, this wheelie bar does not come stock with the E-Revo. You will have to purchase this separately. I think it's like a $20 upgrade, not that big a deal. Now, guys, without that wheelie bar, you are going to scrape up that wing a little bit. See, because it will ride up on that wing there. So you will need a wheelie bar when you're here on the street or doing some kind of high-speed passes or maneuvers. You don't want to tear that wing up in the back. So now that we've seen how the E-Revo is here on the street, we're going to go ahead and take it off-road. The E-Revo, guys, stock, I'm telling you, is pretty fast. It's a beast for the size of this truck. I mean, this truck is massive for a 1/10 scale, I'm telling you. As you can see, guys, the E-Revo has no trouble here off-road. Kind of hovers over the terrain. Real good into turns. That's why I love driving the E-Revo so much, guys. It's just so plush on the landings and planted here. On road and off, any kind of terrain, guys. The E-Revo can withstand it, I'm telling you. It's a beast of a truck for sure. I would say, guys, for overall handling on road and off, just mild bashing and better handling in general, I would say the E-Revo takes it in that category. Wheelies on command, really fast here on the street. The E-Revo, guys, is just a beast, I'm telling you. I love the way this truck drives. Like I said, guys, I don't really take my E-Revo on the ramp and do any kind of hardcore bashing with it. That's not to say that the E-Revo is not durable for what it is, because it is durable. But you got to understand, guys, this truck is built differently than the Maxx. There's a lot of moving parts here with the E-Revo. Those push rods, steering links, things like that are more liable to break with this truck because it's just so heavy and the suspension is so plush out of the box that if you want to do some hardcore bashing with the E-Revo, you're going to have to make some modifications. But I'm telling you guys, there's nothing like driving an E-Revo, man. This thing is a beast. It rips. The wheels are so heavy here on the E-Revo that it's pretty easy to control in the air. So there you have it, guys. Just some light jumping here with the E-Revo. Like I said, I don't go too wild with this truck. I just built this ramp not too long ago, guys, so I'm getting used to this ramp too. It's not the best ramp either. I'm not like the best craftsman. But we got it done. It's 4 foot wide. It's got a 45-degree angle on it. I really don't think this can withstand the X-Maxx because of the type of wood that I used here for the actual ramp. It's kind of thin. So I may need to lay some more down. But you guys get the idea. The E-Revo can jump on the ramp. You just got to be careful with it, you know, and not go to the extremes because it's really not made for that. All right, guys, next up, we're going to run the Maxx V2. We're going to do some high-speed runs here on the street real quick, just so you guys can get an idea of how fast it is stock out of the box. We are still running everything stock here. I am using a 4S 6700 in the truck now, which is the same battery I use in my X-Maxx. So let's get it. The Maxx V2, guys, is slightly faster than the E-Revo, but you got to keep in mind that the Maxx V2 is slightly lighter than the E-Revo, and they are geared up differently. Both of them can hit wheelies on command though, and I really like that about both of these trucks. The Maxx V2 is a dramatic improvement over the original Maxx, guys. A lot of people don't realize that, but it really is. Overall handling, stability on high-speed straightaways, you know, cornering the truck, you're less likely to traction roll. I mean, you still will here and there, because this one is a little more top heavy, and you know, it's built differently than the E-Revo. It takes a lot to get the E-Revo to traction roll, but this truck will, just not as much. Our speed run that we did last time with the Maxx V2, we hit a top speed of 51 miles an hour. On a good day, under the right conditions, I could probably get a little more out of it. The original Maxx is faster than the Maxx V2. Just wanted to throw that out there. I know we're making a comparison between the E-Revo, but I'm just saying this truck handles a whole lot differently, in my opinion, than the original Maxx. So taking that into account, I think that's why the Maxx V2 and the E-Revo kind of remind me of each other, because they do handle kind of similar now with these changes. Off-road, it handles a whole lot better. Into turns, it handles a whole lot better. We're leaning more into turns instead of traction rolling all the time. I'm being pretty aggressive here on the turning, and as you can see, doesn't traction roll is easy. And I think with the extended chassis here on the Maxx V2, it helps it on landings and jumps. Ooh. Which brings me to my next point. The V2 is pretty durable, and I think that's where the V2, the Maxx V2, guys, is going to shine over the E-Revo in general. I mean, don't get me wrong, the E-Revo is durable, but the Maxx V2 is going to bash better. It's going to bash harder. You're not going to be replacing as many parts as you would on the E-Revo, you know, depending on how hard you bash. Off-road though, really, guys, is where both of these trucks shine, the E-Revo and the Maxx V2. Almost ran over myself there. You can get away with a lot more, guys, with the Maxx V2 than you can the E-Revo. And don't get it twisted. I don't want you guys to misunderstand me when I talk about the E-Revo, I guess, on the ramp. It's not, you don't have to baby it. I mean, it's a monster truck. It can withstand, you know, some abuse. I'm just saying that the Maxx V2, in my opinion, is a lot more durable. All right, guys, well, there you have it. The Maxx and the E-Revo. What are my final thoughts? Well, if you want an overall good basher, great handling truck, a truck that leans into turns, busts wheelies on command, handles really good on the ramp, I would say go for the E-Revo. Keep in mind, guys, the E-Revo, you're going to do more repairs on the E-Revo. You're going to be fixing it more than you would the Maxx V2, I feel. Both trucks are durable for the most part. However, I do think that the Maxx V2 can withstand a lot more abuse than the E-Revo. The E-Revo is just much bigger and heavier. Like I said, you want to go hardcore, heavy bashing, all out, I say go with the Maxx V2. Have a truck that handles really good, and you know, may have to do a little more repairs here and there. Choose the E-Revo. But at the end of the day, guys, Either way you go, both of these trucks are beasts. I'm telling you, in a perfect world, I say when you get a chance, get both of them, because both of them are just awesome trucks, man. Seriously. With that being said, I hope this helps you guys out. Hopefully I didn't confuse you, because I mean it really is a hard choice, man. If we were comparing the original Maxx to the E-Revo, I would probably say the E-Revo, most definitely get the E-Revo. And the Maxx, see, the Maxx is an awesome truck too. So but the original Maxx doesn't land jumps and lean into turns like this new Maxx V2 does, so that changes things. We are comparing the Maxx V2 in this video and the E-Revo 2.0. But at the end of the day though, guys, you really can't go wrong with either one. I'm curious to see what you guys think, so let me know in the comments, what's your favorite truck? What's your opinion on the E-Revo and the Maxx V2? I mean, is it a hard decision? Is there a clear decision? Is there a truck you know that is better than the other right out of the gate, that you just know is way better? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see what you guys think. But anyways, guys, that'll do it for this video. I know this is quite a long video. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. But that's all I got. Hopefully that helps you out with your choice between the E-Revo and the Maxx V2. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you like what we do here on the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. This is RC Review signing out, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.